Hi all, my name is Amira. Welcome back to my channel. And today I have for you a comparison of the new Pat McGrath Holiday Quad Deep Space Divinity and her quad from last year's holiday collection, Iconic Illumination. So first off, let me show you what the new one looks like. And this is the packaging that it comes in. And this is the quad itself. And right off the bat, the difference between the two quads is quite noticeable, as similar to how her blush is, and I'll show you because I have the blush here. So this is her blush. Similar to how the blush has the name printed on it, the Holiday Quad has the name printed on it, in comparison to last year, which has the, her normal like raised embossing on it. Another thing that is quite different when you open it up is that the pan size, and this is Deep Space Divinity, the pan size is quite small in comparison to her other quads. And again, I can show you a comparison here. So this is Iconic Illumination, and this is again from last year's holiday collection. So this is what they look like. So this is last year's and this is this year's. And as you can see, the pans are quite small in comparison to last year's. So the first thing I thought when I saw her preview this was that, oh, that's Iconic Illumination. Why is she re-releasing that? Or why are we doing this twice, Pat? And then after seeing some swatches, and I did watch a couple of reviews just because I didn't know at the time if I was going to pick them up. I was debating whether I wanted to review it for you guys or if I wanted it for myself. So I did go ahead and watch a few reviews just to see if it was even worth my time and money. So it's like, they're very similar, but they're also different enough that for me personally, I think this one, ironically, even though they look so similar, and especially with her marketing photos, I feel like her marketing photos did this palette a disservice because of the fact, the way that it was photographed, it looked so much like this. Like the product photos on her website, these look far more similar than they actually are in real life. But after seeing some reviews, I feel like this one is, of the two quads that she released, this is the most interesting of the two. So I'm going to do some swatches for you guys and do some comparisons on my hand. So the first shade is, I believe this is Golden Aura. So I will swatch that. And this is just a really soft, pretty, neutral champagne tone. Very pretty, but very simple and light. And then the next shade is, I believe, Rose Nocturne. I could be completely wrong on that, the way she has these listed, but it is the Burgundy Matte tone. And this is the shade along with the blue that I felt was like, this is looking a lot like Iconic Illumination. So that is the burgundy tone, which I believe it might be Alien Moon. The way she has them listed is a little strange on the box, in my opinion. So that is, let's just say it's Alien Moon. I don't know. No, it's not. I think this one is Alien Moon. I think the green bluey tone is Alien Moon. And this shade, it is a duochrome, and I don't know if you can see that. But it has this beautiful, and maybe you can see it more in my hand, yeah. It has this beautiful rosy undertone to it. It's quite lovely. Yeah. So that shade is actually, I feel, very different from the blue that's in Iconic Illumination. And then the final shade is this shade, which I believe is Dawn Fantasia. And it's just another, to me, I think it's just like a darker, more warm version of this one. And that is the newer quad, the holiday quad for 2021. Okay, let me wipe my fingers off here and let's get into Iconic Illumination. And right off the bat, I will say that Iconic Illumination has one of my favorite shades from Pat McGrath, and it is, I think, let me see. So this is Golden Polaris. And I'll do that here so you guys can see it up against the other gold. So this is Golden Polaris. It's much brighter. Has much more of a, I feel like, a sheen to it. It's a bit more intense. And then we have the blue in this, which is, I believe, Hypnotique. And right away, you're going to see the difference between these two shades, which doesn't really show in the promotional photos. So this is the blue that is in Iconic Illumination from last year. And off the back, you can see like the shift. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and swatch both of these on my fingers because I feel like I was able to get more of an accurate shift for these. So this is the one from the new palette, Deep Space Divinity. And this is Deep Space Divinity. And this is from the Iconic Illumination palette. So can you see the difference there? This one is very intensely blue. It has like a purpley undertone to it, whereas this one is like that duochrome with that red undertone, that red shift to it. So they are quite different, which I was actually very pleasantly surprised by. And then I'll do the burgundy in this, which I believe is Blue Blood, and I love this shade. I believe this shade is in Decadence. I could be wrong, but I think it is. But look at that. It's in another palette of hers. I'm gonna have to see which one it is. But that shade, this is the shade that I purchased. These two together, the two shades that I was like, oh yes, yes please. And then the last shade in this is, I think, called Divine Dahlia. Yeah. And let's see. It's going to be in a bit of an awkward angle. This is the deepest shade in this palette. That was a terrible swatch, but there you go. And the big difference between these two palettes is that this one has one matte and this has no mattes. So that's something to consider. If you own Iconic Illumination, and one of the things you didn't like about it is that it didn't have a matte, the newer palette does right here. So my only issue is that this shade is very deep and rich, and it's a Pat McGrath matte, so it's going to be very deep and rich and very pigmented. And I don't think, if you are a deeper skin tone than me, sorry, I don't mean to be lying. If you're a deeper skin tone than me, you're going to have to probably reach into something else to make this palette work for you. I feel like I want to dip into something else, but what I think I'm going to do with this palette is do how I would wear it for real, like in real life. And it's going to be all about this shade. So let's do this. All right, so I'm going to grab, and this is a rougher chew brush. I am going to, did I grab my Intensifies? Yes, here it is. I'm using my Intensifies again. I'm really testing this out because I want to know if it's, worth recommending, especially someone who uses a glitter glue. Sorry, I'm trying to get the thingy off this mirror so I can actually use it. The mirrors in her palettes, by the way, even her quads, are fantastic. Can I get this off? Yay, there we go. So I'm literally, and I primed my eye already, so I'm literally just going to pile all of this on. And I may have some shimmer still on my eye because I did film my review of the other quad in the collection, Bronze Borealis. So, and Pat McGrath shimmers are just, they're beautiful, but taking them off is a biatch, for real. Okay, so I'm going in with this and I'm winging this out. Let me zoom you guys in just a little bit more. So I'm winging this out a little bit. Oh, and I've got mad fallout, like insane amount of fallout right now. Which is why I tend to like to actually wet my brush when I use Pat McGrath palettes. So I do feel like even though the intensifies is good on the eye, because you're not applying it directly to your brush or anything, it's not really going to help with the fallout situation. At least it hasn't for me. And I'm just, it's a little skippy there, but that's mostly because I'm skippy there. I'm skippy there. All right. I think I want to bring this up a little bit more. I might get a thinner brush just to make this a bit more smooth. Okay. Now I'm going to take this Rephr 26 brush and I'm going to go into that burgundy matte. I'm going to tap my brush off a little bit though, just because. And I'm just going to finish winging this out. I'm going to take a little bit more and just put it here so that the transition is a little softer. Like that. All right. I'm going to take this brush and just try to see if I can get some of this fallout off my face. There we go. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush and I am actually going to go ahead and spray my brush for this. So hold 1 second. Let me grab my setting spray, which I always seem to forget. I have everything in front of me except the setting spray. Why? I don't know. Okay, I am back. And that's my chair squeaking, by the way. It's not me. It's not me. All right. I'm gonna take number 3. It's clean. We're running low on the clean brushes here, folks. I haven't washed them in a while because I try not to wash my natural hair brushes too much. So I try to wash them like once a week, once every 2 weeks. But because I've been doing so many videos, I've just been like running through them. So yeah. So I'm gonna put a little bit on my brush and I'm gonna spray. All right. And now we're gonna take this under, but I wanna bridge that gap there. I'm also just going to use this to kind of even this bad boy out. And because I have hooded eyes, I like to bring it up just a little higher so you can actually see the shape. Otherwise it kind of disappears. I don't want it too high because I'm not, but I want it high enough that you can actually see it, you know? All right, so I'm gonna wipe that brush off and then we're gonna go into the matte burgundy shade. I'm gonna put that here. Now I want to take it too far up because I want to keep this nice and winged out, but I want to marry the two. Like so. I like that. Now, I have two other shades in here, these two golds that I'm kind of like not interested in using. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I don't feel like I need them, but I'm gonna take the softer one. I'm gonna see if I like it in like here. See if I like it as a little highlighter. I probably won't. Yeah, I don't care about this shade that much. I'm gonna layer a little bit of the blue over it. So what I'll do is just to keep this tone kind of lighter here, but I still want the blue to be the star. And I'm gonna take my concealer brush really quickly. Got a little fall there and it's making it a little bit darker there than I want it to be. Okay, so as you can see, it just added a little light to my eye, but it hasn't added too much. So very nice. And let's see. Now we're gonna do Iconic Illumination. And I think, should I try to do the same thing on this side with these two shades? Ooh, yes. All right. I'm gonna use the same brushes. I'm just gonna wipe them off. My little trusty microfiber cloth here. We're gonna go for the same vibe. They're not gonna look the same though. I don't think they're gonna look the same at all, and I'm okay with that. But I just wanna see how they perform together. So we're gonna do the same here. And this time though, I am actually gonna wet my brush before I lay this out because of the fallout situation, you know? So we're gonna go here. Spray, spray, spray. Just a little. And I want to see if I can get the same kind of vibe, at least. They're not going to look the same because the shades are not the same. But we're going to get a similar vibe going. So I bring that out like I did before. Bring it up a bit more. That's even. A little bit. I'm going to take this smaller brush that I had, like I did before, and I'm going to just take this and just bring that up. Even it out a bit. All right, now we're going to go in with this shade here. And what I like about this shade is that it's a metallic, but it's got this like ability to be very satiny when you use it. I'll take that small brush again. Once again, guys, sorry for the truck noise. It's apparently, this is my life now, apparently. I don't know why this is my life now. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but apparently this is my life now. Trucks at random times of the day. This one's not coming out quite as sharp as I would like, so I'm gonna may have to fiddly dee with this a little bit. Actually, I think what I want to do is just spray my brush because it'll give me a little bit more control. And that's one thing I'll say, like if you're using metallics and you're trying to get a little bit more control over them, wet your brush because it just kind of makes them a bit easier to maneuver. Are those even? Am I going to worry about it? No. Again, I am not a makeup perfectionist. I marvel at people who have the patience for that. I do not. I like to get my makeup done and I like it. And I don't necessarily think that, you know, everything needs to be perfect. I think perfection can be a bit overrated, you know? So We're going to do the same thing and wrap the blue around, taking this little brush here, and I'm actually going to use the smaller brush again. I'm going to spray. One thing I will say is with this shade, I feel like it's actually a bit less dense than the other shade. Like, even though this one is got that shift to it, and those shades tend to be a bit sheer in their texture and feel, this one actually, when you use it, is actually the thinner of the two, I feel like. Right, take this bad boy, bring that there. There. All right. So I am going to go off camera, put on my mascara, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts and a final look at the eyes. 1 second, please. Okay, I am back. I have applied some mascara, and I also applied this Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner duo in Super Blues in my waterline. So let me zoom you guys in a bit so you can see the final looks. So you can get a very similar vibe, as you can see. The tones will be slightly different. I think that this eye, of the two eyes, this one is my favorite. I love the shift. I just think it's really pretty. And that burgundy matte, just the way it blends into the red undertone of this blue shade is so stunning. I just love it. This one's pretty too. I'm not like 100% happy with my wing, but we move, you know. So yeah, I think I would say I am pleasantly surprised by this little quad here. I was fully expecting to have a very similar opinion of it as I do of Bronze Borealis. And if you haven't seen that review, I will leave a card up above, but I did a comparison of Bronze Borealis with Voyeuristic Vixen, as well as a little show and tell of it compared to Ritualistic Rose. I say if you are thinking about picking up these quads, I would say get this one. Get this one. I think it's stunning. The formula was Pat McGrath. The formula was amazing. But I just find this to be a far more interesting color story and a far more interesting palette than Bronze Borealis. I think Bronze Borealis is kind of Pat doing the rosy tones that she's come to be known for recently in recent years. And it's, in my opinion, as a result, a bit boring. But this one, so pretty. And I really love Iconic Illumination. I think it's a beautiful palette. But I feel like I have a place in my collection for both of these. I really do. I feel like both of these are beautiful palettes. So yeah, my summation based on this demo and first impression is that between the two quads, both of them being $54 each, I think that Deep Space Divinity is the better option of the two. I think, and having said that, if you're not a color person, if you're not someone who loves blues or, you know, burgundies and things like that, then of course this one won't be the one for you and you may want to go for Bronze Borealis. Again, though, I feel like Bronze Borealis is a retread of color story that Pat already has available in her regular collection. So I don't feel like it's bringing anything particularly new or interesting to the table. One thing that I will say is I am a sucker for when Pat McGrath does blue eyeshadow, specifically metallics and duochromes. There's something about the way she does them and the undertones that are always so interesting and so fun to use. And I think that's another reason why I really enjoyed using this palette and why I like this one as well. This palette is discontinued, so if you wanted this one and you can't get it anymore, pick this one up. It's cheaper than that one by a couple bucks as well. So you are going to get less product because the pans are smaller, but I don't think that that's a huge issue. I think if you own makeup, you know, I don't hit pan in a lot of eyeshadows. Let's put it that way. And I think if you're using Pat McGrath and you're buying Pat McGrath, you're probably not hitting pan all the time either. So I think it's fine to have smaller pan sizes for these. But yes, that is my demo and first impression and comparison of Deep Space Divinity versus Iconic Illumination. Let me know in the comments, do you own either of these palettes? Do you own both of them? Are you thinking of picking up these Deep Space Divinity? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and be sure to subscribe. I will see you guys later. Bye.